Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
Great, greetings and salutations. Another episode of Fangs up here. And man, it's finally game week for fall sports, but especially for football. We're going to talk about the volleyball a little bit, but we're just going to, get y'all ready, get y'all primed, and kind of look at some of the things that I may have seen. Just looking at that first game of the season. We're going to go more into that on Thursday. But yeah, today we're just going to kind of talk about the fall sports, them starting. But then, I ain't gonna lie, I caught a little bit of Brother Swope, and he brought up a good point about the ticket prices. I got an idea. So I ain't gonna say the ladies out of her rabbit behind mine. But what I will say is I got an idea. Again, if there's a problem, we try to come with solutions. That's one of the things about me. If there's a problem, I want to give you a solution. Now, if you take it or not, that's your business. But I'm gonna give you an idea, and I think it could help with those ticket prices and just to add a little variance to the Investing in Champions packages. But first, HBC Digital Network. This is home to Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. Also, check out Herb's band podcast, his following of bands and whatnot. Band season started. If you didn't catch the March of 100's performance in Houston, it's on YouTube. It's definitely been shared on both the FQ FAMU as well as the Fangs Up Twitter pages, X pages. Sorry, still getting used to this Twitter thing. And today, we got some pictures from the booster event up in Tallahassee too. Man, I ain't gonna lie. University took those pictures, but we're gonna share them because we had to share them. But first thing we get into FAMU track, like. And look, some of y'all just coming in, so I'm gonna go and hit them on the start. FAMU Track's got an event coming up in Jacksonville, September the 1st, North Florida Invitational. Looking forward to that. I like our track coach. I'm not gonna lie. Like Buddy's got me. He's trying to bring back the FAMU relays and stuff like that. I can see that. I like it. FAMU baseball got a commitment. So it's a little graphic for the track team. It's up there. You can see. It's not just my word, but FAMU baseball, we got a commitment. Local kid from Leon, my dad's alma mater. So Jay Campbell, 5'11", 200-pound. He's an infielder. So he plays both second and third base. So he plays both those spots in the infield Yet, normally FAMU's looking for pitchers. We got quite a few. And hopefully we can sign some kids. And, especially we've had some kids that were kind of waiting on some of that COVID crew to come through that have some eligibility left that are trying to get on and trying to get in. Now, volleyball went over the weekend. Pretty much, yeah. Didn't win a game. No series wins, but it was expected. Like if you were to have listened to ONG Strike Zone, you definitely heard Cousin Kelvin say the beginning of the season is going to be kind of rough. Don't get upset about it. Don't get too frustrated with it. Kind of is what it is. Like it's that beginning of the season. It's starting off like that. So yeah, man. It's the start. We kind of see how that's going. And hopefully it will get better. We started last year like this. It was kind of rough. Didn't win all the games we wanted to. And later on in the season, though, SWAC champions. Twice over. Defending SWAC champions. FAMU volleyball. But the teams we lost to were Austin P. They were middle of the road last year. 2-1 on the season so far. Buffalo, probably the best of the pack. Last season, they had a winning record. They played in the postseason. This season, 3-0. No losses. So it's a good thing on them. Doesn't help my team, but it is what it is. Lastly, AB, UAB last season, they had a losing record. They did make the conference championship game, but this season they're 1-2. So, it is what it is with that. Now, I'm gonna give you some of my takeaways from the MEAC Swag Challenge real quick before we go into our part where we go inside the den. Does Brother Swope have a point about these tickets, and what's the solution? So I'm gonna say it like this, and we're gonna break it down more on Thursday. If you were watching that MEAC Swag Challenge and you were trying to get something to take away film-wise, you can stop in the third quarter. Like, watch the game. It's on ESPN right now. They didn't sponsor the Brothers Say That. But if they want to, we're always looking for new sponsors. But for the first three quarters, it was solid football, in my opinion, as far as like we all know what South Carolina State is traditionally. They are a run first team normally. They do like to try to throw the ball, but at the same point, it's never really been their thing. It's to just be like a pass heavy team. We saw that. We saw that going into this game where against Jackson State, they were made one dimensional. And that was really the difference in the game. Like, you were able to see that Jackson State could either throw or run the ball almost at will. Very little pressure from the line of scrimmage coming from South Carolina State towards Jackson State. But we did see that once South Carolina State established a run game, the game got better. The problem was they could never get the pass game going. And that really changed the game. And when it became just readily apparent that the South Carolina State quarterback wasn't able to make the reads, that was huge. But special teams is also a big thing. Like, we can't overshadow the impact of a good kicker. South Carolina State threw a freshman out there who's been on campus for like 3 weeks. They literally threw that kid out there to the wolves. Like, I got a little soft spot because that's one of my former students. I know his family. Good kid, good family. But they threw him out. They left him out to dry. Like, first time you're going against that team and you've never punted D1, been on the practice field for how many weeks, and you're in the biggest game of the season. Everybody's watching ESPN. Mistakes are made. The snaps ain't great. It just was one of those things where we saw how impactful field positioning was and is in a football game, and how it will be. Like, it's going to be very important that South Carolina State figures that out. And then when FAMU's playing, it's going to be very important that we use that kicker who's coming in with all these accolades to be able to flip the field. Because if he's not flipping the field, it's going to be a problem. Right? And we can see that. Like, that's not a secret. That's not me spilling any kind of beans. That's just, we're keeping it honest. We're keeping it a buck. And we definitely saw the difference a good quarterback makes. Like, yeah, that was a big difference in the game. So, but we're going to break it down a little more, break down defense, kind of what I was able to pull from it. And hopefully it's some of the things the coaches saw, because that screen game was open all day. And it's essentially the same defense from last year, like schematically. Like, a lot of man-to-man. If you're an FSU fan like I am, again, I don't even lie to y'all. FAMU and FSU, those are my teams. I'm Tallahassee all day. It's Mickey Andrews' defense from the 1990s, early 80s, late 80s. It's the same defense. Man up. We're going to pressure you. We're going to try to force you to make a mistake. If you can't block who we're blitzing, you're going to screw up. That's basically it. They run a lot of man-to-man. Once the game got out of hand, they stopped it because they didn't want to show as much. They're like, we're not going to show you anything, because pretty much once they get to like 31 points, you can stop watching that game. It's over. Jackson State's not trying anymore. They don't care anymore. Like at a certain point, they just start slinging the ball around the field. And at one point, South Carolina State's quarterback was like 5 for 17. Yeah, that's not going to get it done, respectfully. And it wasn't all his fault. Like a couple times, the running backs missed blocks. They had a lot of freshmen playing in that game. So one of the big things is just gonna be knowing the freaking offense. You don't know the playbook, it's not gonna work. So yeah, that's kind of my like quick takeaway, less instant reaction to watching the game. But we're gonna break it down more and kind of see how it works for FAMU and how I think about it from my perspective. Now, we're gonna go inside the dim real quick. Before we do that, though, Cable Buster TV, cablebustertv.com. Who you gonna call? Cable Busters. $35 per month, up to 3 devices, 24-hour free trial, 813-360-1902. So, does Brother Swope have a point? And it's a good question. And especially when you kind of see what we had today. Like, Rattler Boosters had their event celebrating the fall sports. And these are some of the pictures that were posted. As you can see with the Rattler Boosters, when you do purchase your booster level, you do get a discount. I'm lying. You get a booster tag. Nah. So you get a booster tag. So brag with a tag. See, Dr. Robinson was there. They had food, vegetables, likely some yard bird. So members of the National Alumni Association were there as well to support. So you can see the affinity group supporting. A better look at the tags that you can put on the front of your car. Don't put that in the back of your car and get pulled over. So some good times that were had there. All right. So the question is, for those of y'all that don't watch, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't always catch, but when it just pops up on my feed, I'll watch. And so one of the things that Brother Swope brought up was we don't have a lot of differences as far as in ticket prices. And at first I was like, I'm skeptical. I'm a skeptic. I'm a skeptic by nature. I don't believe nothing you say. Like, I got a lot of that showboater in me. Like, if you haven't seen House Party, sometimes I jokingly say, like, okay, the boat don't trust nothing. Like, so go back and watch House Party. Funny character in the show, in the movie. I believe it's the second House Party. Might be the third one. But his name is Showboat. And Showboat is an event promoter. And there's a kid and player trying to get some money from him. And he's like, just trust me, we'll get your money back. And Showboat's like, the boat don't trust SHI. I didn't finish the rest. And so he makes it abundantly clear. I don't trust you. You either going to have my stuff or not. And I kind of have that perspective with a lot of things. But I was listening. And I'm willing to learn. That's one of my things. I'm always willing to learn. I'll listen to you. I may not believe you, but I'll listen and I'll do research. And so he brought up a point saying tickets are like $50. I was like, nah, it can't be no $50. But then I was like, you know what? Let me not be a skeptic. I'll look. So I go look, I check. Starting general admission price, $40. After you pay the little fees on Ticketmaster, it's $50. If you go print them out, it kind of is what it is. And so I was like, he was bringing up the point that this hurts some of your lower income fans. And I agree. I think it's a good point. The delivery of saying such is trash, but it's all in how you say it. We're going to say almost the same thing in completely different ways. So my idea is this. The lowest ticket in Bragg Stadium right now is $40, even for general admission. And to me, that's high. I think when you go back and you look at the competition amongst the SWAC, it's comparable. It's comparable. I went and I looked through every team that we play on our football schedule. $40 is pretty much the average for a general admission ticket in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. The only outlier was USF. They have $10 tickets. They ain't the best seats. But again, USF's stadium that they play in, not that they own, seats about 60,000. So you start looking, you can have that variance as far as ticket prices, and it not hurt anything. My thinking is this, and Swope's not wrong on this. You need to have a north end zone or south end zone area for lower ticket prices. $20 to $25 max. You can include them in the Investing in Champions package and have them at your lowest level, like entry level investors. $100 for the season for this year. You got 4 games, that's $25 per game. These general admission, you can either sell them for 25 or 30, but have it as a no frills package. You get no parking, you get, all the extra amenity stuff you don't get. But just have it as, hey, this will get you in the stadium. It's in a part of the stadium that's routinely empty. And so it solves a few problems. The first problem is it gets your attendance up. It still gets those dollars in. And you're selling tickets in a part of the stadium that really nobody sits in. But then the way you combat that is put less expensive options in that region of the stadium, because that's also on the student side of the stadium where I think you should put it. I think on the northeast side of the stadium, because you do have that stadium club in the north part there where people sit in the tents and all that. It's well and good. But in that north corner, given that area, and then behind there, have like your Italian ice, hot dogs, burgers, a lot of your cheaper fare, because that's also where your students are sitting. So your students are already kind of getting in on the low. They don't have a lot of money anyways. And let's increase the number of students that are coming into the game. Let's push for a good 5 to 7 per home game, because their student fees are going to athletics anyway. But let's kind of fix that problem of having a $40 entry level fee for general admission tickets and make it a $25 ticket that's no frills. And again, that fixes a lot of your problems. People that have families, hey, if you got 4 kids or wife, 2 kids, let's hit the stereotype. Okay, that's $400. Okay, but if you just want to get 2 tickets and y'all can split it up, father-son thing, mother-daughter thing, father-daughter, however you do it, mother-son, it's $200, and that'll get you in. You won't get any parking. You got to find your own parking. But to me, it starts to kind of get that idea of keeping your lower threshold or your group that can pay less still involved in the program and still investing in it. They're just investing at a lower end. And it's something that is this one section. And you sell it as, hey, this is our 100 club section. When it sells out, it sells out. And that works. And then the beauty of that is for those who buy the Investing in Champions package, it benefits them, especially for homecoming. So homecoming is going to sell out. And that for that homecoming game, those general admission tickets, that's the 40-50. Like you hit them over the head with that. But for those that buy the Investing in Champions tickets at the lowest level, they can resell them. And for homecoming, hey, let's say you got 4 tickets, you charge the same that university or $1 less on Ticketmaster or whatever. All of a sudden, for that game, you paid for 2 games, 3 games. So if the university's charging $50 for that section, you charge $40, $45. What's that? $40, $80, $120, $160. If you had 4 of them, like all of a sudden, you use that homecoming game that you may or may not go to offset the cost for the rest of your season. As a person who just bought in, and then you came in at the lower end and still supported the Investing in Champions program, you just did it at a level that made sense for people at a lower income bracket or people who just have tighter budgets. Again, it's a solution. It's a critique, because $40 is a lot for general admission for the whole stadium. But if you have one section where it's like, nope, 2025, it's $100 for the season, investing in champions, this, no frills, just the bare minimum, I think that solves your problem. It gives a low cost option for one section, and you still preserve the value for the rest of the area, where the other parts of the stadium, you still charge that 40, but those northern end zone portions that routinely don't sell out on the east side, 25, 2025. On the west side, 25, 30. Like, only reason the west side, because you tend to get a little more shade over there. And it's also a side where you tend to try to put your visiting teams. And this year, you really aren't going to have many visiting teams that are going to travel well outside of Alabama State. So just kind of thinking like that. That's just some forward thinking. But again, it's not a harsh critique. It's consideration, and it's an idea. We come with solutions here. That's why we deal with results only fitness. That brother does some solutions, and got some things going on. Now, mission and solutions, y'all know OBC week's coming. Everybody's got something coming up. The Rattler meetup, Miami-Dade chapter is gonna be doing something. Brimstone Woodfire Grill, shops at Pembroke Ponds. Like, check them out. 6 to 8:30. That's on Thursday. So I ain't gonna quite be there yet. I'm, getting ready for it. But that's coming up. And really, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This ain't hate week for me. Like, because this ain't a rivalry. FAMU hadn't beat Jackson State since 2003. So we got a ways to go. But I definitely think we got a chance. And if you are a FAMUan, if you're a Rattler, this is a game you probably want to go to. Like, you probably want to attend, because you're probably not going to get another OBC for probably a year off. Like, honestly, that next time we play South Carolina State, not next year, but in 25, I'm going to recklessly speculate with no information to support it. That's probably going to be an OBC. If it was me and I'm South Carolina State, you got 2,000 students, I'd do that. Just because the amount of money that they're going to make off of that compared to the amount of money they normally get for a home game, probably a good idea. Probably a really good idea. Other events we got coming up, though. SBI's got something coming up on the 7th. Go check them out. That's if you're a student. But then don't forget homecoming. I've been telling y'all about these hotel prices. October 21st through the 28th. NAA has released all the hotels, and I hadn't double checked. I will reach out to my NAA folks, but you can see when that homecoming date is and those hotel prices. It's a 3-night minimum. Not bad. Now, I'm not going to lie to y'all. OBC, I ain't booked my hotel yet, but I found a price a little cheaper than that. Just go up north a little bit. I ain't staying in Miami. I'll be there for the night or so, but I found some prices a little cheaper than that. But you might not be cheap like me. Now, close out though, man. If you have not checked it out, go check out that band performance that FAMU had in Houston. Solid, nice work. It's a lot of your FAMU basics as far as like formations and stuff like that. It is what it is, but they look they look large as far as size wise and things of that nature. So it's gonna be a fun season to be had, man. Yeah. So, but before we cut out of here, man, do a quick recap. Short show today, man. No within my 30-minute time frame. Look for me though. Wednesday, supposed to be potentially be on the ONG Strike Zone, talking a little FAMU football with the good brothers. So go check them out. Kelvin, Brian, whole crew there, man. But going back over it, talked about the FAMU upcoming track event on the 1st. Ooh, that's on Friday up there in Jacksonville. Baseball got a commitment from a local player, Leon High School's own Jay Campbell, 5'11", 200-pound infielder. FAMU volleyball went 0 for the weekend. Did not win a single series, but they were close. The UAB one was close. The other ones we lost 3-1. UAB we lost 3-2, which you know. Then takeaway for the MEAC Swag Challenge. If you want to rewatch it, it's on ESPN. I'd watch it until the third quarter. Once it gets to that 31-0, you can turn it off. It's trash. There's no real film you're going to get from there, other than the fact that Jackson State's quarterback's actually pretty solid. Like he's fairly accurate, but that's especially going to happen when there's almost no pass rush. But their running back, yeah, he was running people over. I still got FAMU by 20 though. I'm not going to change that. At this point, I'm pot committed to it. Like, so it is what it is. Like, I got FAMU by 20 in the OBC. I'm not changing it. And then my point when we went inside the den, does Brother Swope have a point about these ticket prices? He does. General admission $40 at Bragg Stadium for the whole stadium is too much. There should be a section, preferably for my taste, in the northeast end zone, where the tickets are $20 or $25. You can do investing in champions for $80 or $100 as an entry level. And what that'll do is that will allow for, one, the university to sell tickets, but two, it allows for those people who have either fixed incomes, and that's the way we like to say a lot of times, to be able to get in. Like, hey, if you're retired, and granted, the lowest ticket package is $200 right now, but that's for one spot. You might not get a park. If I can guarantee you for $100, you get your 4 games, no parking. You figure that out on your own. That still allows you to get into the stadium, and it gives you the idea to start putting some lower priced options in that area, because on the east side of the stadium is also where your students sit. And so if your students are sitting there, most of them don't have the most money. So you can start to do like your Italian ice and things like that are, not expensive, $5-6 items. They can get that, still enjoy the game. You sell your waters over there, and maybe get some outside vendors over there too, just to kind of mix it up, have a little fun with it, but also fill in a part of the stadium that is routinely empty. And yeah, that was kind of my thought on that. And just to kind of get out of that mindset of, okay, everything in the stadium's got to be VIP. It doesn't. Like, general admission for for the rest of your opponents in the SWAC, it's about $40. But USF's got a $10 section if you're looking right now. So just kind of putting that idea out there. Now, I will say for homecoming, that still needs to be a $40, $50 ticket. Yeah, you look, I can't let up, because there's got to be an incentive for you to buy the Investing in Champions package. Like, for instance, if you're looking at it, I want you to see that if you were to sit in that section and purchase your ticket for that one game, it would cost you half, like for another $50, you might as well get the season tickets. Like, I want to play that mind game with you as a seller, because then you can be like, man, for another $50, I can just have season tickets. I might as well do that. Everybody's not going to think like that, but some will. So just some of the ideas on things that, we think about here. So Thursday, though, man, we're going to OBC me. We talking about the Orange Blossom Classic, kind of what I saw, what I didn't see from the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and really what I think FAMU's going to be able to do. FAMU runs a 4-2-5 zone-based defense. We saw multiple defenses from Jackson State. We saw that they ran both the 3-3-5 stack. They showed 3-4 formations. We also saw where they ran other sets. So kind of how can FAMU take advantage of that? Those will be some of my questions. Like, what can FAMU do on offense as well, besides the simple of protect the quarterback and run the ball? Those are common sense. But what are some of the other things that we may have seen, or I may have seen, we can talk about. So, it's going to be some fun. 8 o'clock Thursday, HBCU Digital Network. We're going to be here. I'll make sure I send the feed out, let them know we need to get that going because football season, we're going to get that going. And then Sunday, I'm so used to football being Saturday. Sunday, post game, we're going to do an instant reaction, talk about the game, what we saw, hopefully a W by 20 points. And then, we're going to talk about how that game went. So we'll definitely push our normal showtime back next Sunday just because the game time, get back to the hotel, all the good stuff. So, but before we head out, man, one more time, big shout out to HBCU Digital Network. This is home of Herb Stewart and the Black Techies. Check out Herb's podcast, what he's doing with the bands. He's also on HBCU Nightly. Check him out over there. Routinely one of the panelists. Also, man, don't be afraid to check out the ONG Strike Zone on Wednesday. Gonna check them out. 8 o'clock. You might see a familiar face on the show. And then even some of post and pregame stuff, man, we might catch them as well. So y'all know we one big family trying to get as much done as possible. So, but until Thursday, 8 o'clock here on HBCU Digital Network, it's gonna be Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it?